Welcome to another episode of Unleash Your Unique Genius. I'm your host, Angela Schroeder. Whether you're listening to us live on Turf Step Radio, on Facebook, or you're listening by recording, we are so glad you're here and super excited for my guest, David, today. David, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks, Angela. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor and privilege. And it was cool. We just saw each other a few weeks ago at an event and having some wine and a good meal with some friends. And so it's good to be on your show.
Yes, absolutely. We did. We just got to spend some time together again in Raleigh. What a phenomenal event Jimmy always puts on,
Yeah,
educating us. But yeah, in addition to that education, it's just good to share a meal and some wine with people, good people like you, and just getting some great energy.
absolutely.
Well, before we dive in and talk about, and we were just talking about setting up the show, and I'm like, oh, let's not go down that rabbit hole. Let's do it live. But before we go down all those, why don't you share with the audience just a little bit about you, your story, as much as you want to share?
Yeah, absolutely. So grew up here in Delaware, went to high school and I went to the Air Force, which was definitely a necessary thing for me. Grew up a lot, became a man, got out. Started working for a guy, had a gutter cleaning business, and just doing that, side hustle, and saw the money he was making. I was like, well, I'm going to pay my $75 to start my own business. Started working with adults and children with special needs back then. And my mom had worked with kids in that area. And so kind of felt calling to do that. So I was kind of doing the gutter cleaning as a side hustle and the, seasonal thing, and working, helping kids and adults with special needs and, brain damage, autism, and then started working at a group home where they, provide support for them to try to provide independence there as much as they could. And then kind of stayed with that company for 25 years, continued doing the gutter cleaning, picked up power washing about 15 years ago, window cleaning 15 years ago, and started doing Christmas lights back in 2019. And then about 25 years into working for community systems with the adults, my wife and I were like, let's have you do the jump. Let's go full time. So I left there after 25 years, had a nice break from that, and started doing this full time. And so in January of 2020, went full time for gutters, for washing, for Christmas lights, and had started just by myself doing it all. And luckily, I had Lisa come on board. She's my office manager. She just worked 12 hours a week, but it was such a relief. Because you know how it is wearing all the hats. You're either going to heart attack or you're going to end up in the psych ward. So it was good getting a who on board, a really good rock star. So she's been phenomenal. She's up to 25 hours a week. She works about 5 hours a day, but she keeps everything in order. And I don't know what I'd do without her. So she's a rock star. And so I have two guys in the field, Mark and Dale, full time. They've been with me for several years now. And then Jaden and Kyle work part time, seasonal with lights. And when we get busy and like this season that's coming up, they're going to be ready to jump on board. And so we're just got trained with Omni, architectural permanent lighting, like JC and many other guys with, Jimmy and Lights for Decorators. So that's been awesome getting trained up in that. And we've done a few jobs to kind of cut our teeth. We've done a few jobs with the landscape lighting. And so I'm excited about the whole lighting piece. And I wore my black shirt for you today too. I had to dig around and find one. So if I'm going to be on with Angela, I got to get a black shirt. So anyway, that's kind of a long ramble about who I am now. And so we're, growing, and we got 3 trucks on the road, and I'm excited for what's happened here in Newcastle County, Delaware.
Oh, that's awesome. I love your story.
Thank you.
And thanks for wearing black for the show. Oh, goodness.
JC would give me
Um,
a hard time if I wore blue, so I had to wear black.
I'm always predictable. You know what color I'll be in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, what a great path into entrepreneurism,
Yeah.
and being able to, a lot of people do that in the beginning of like, it's a side hustle. Now it's more of a side hustle, and it really is a business. And for a while, you were, teetering the line of, because your full-time job wasn't just a job.
Yeah.
You had a purpose and were really like, um, doing a life's work in that as well.
Absolutely.
But teetering the line and trying to do it all before you made that full-time jump. And that's scary, but also fun to get to be all in and, really get to take all these businesses to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's talk a little bit about, along the journey, things that have made a difference for you, like things that have, as we, in stages of our business, we know that we grow as individuals, and, that growth for us, as things that we're learning really take our business to the next level. Like we've got to level up and become a new version of ourselves, for our business to take to the next level. So why don't we talk a little bit about some things along your journey and path that made a difference for that, made a difference in, for you and growing your business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So first would have to be, like I said, I went full time and got serious about the business. So I got a CRM and got things in place that you should have to run a real business. And so, but going to the huge convention was mind blowing. I went, there was like 1,500 people there, and this was 2020, I believe it was. So I knew JC a little bit. I don't think I knew you at the time, but just was blown away. I think they had, Tommy Mello and Brandon Vaughn and Joshua Latimer on stage. These guys, I listened to their podcasts, but then you hear their stories about, these guys had businesses, they failed, they were living in their car. They buckled things up. They got, they grew the business the right way. And just to see, like Brandon Vaughn talked about how he had to take over his father's business because his father got ill and he had to step in and run it. And then he put systems in place. And so hearing these guys speak, and then all the breakout shops, you just like walk out of the shops like, oh my gosh, I thought I had my stuff together. And you're just like, oh my, there's so many things I need to do. And then you have all the exhibitors downstairs that had all the equipment and all the soft wash stuff and your window cleaning things, your gutter guards and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
so it was mind blowing, but I took some notes. I've got some things implemented. Next year, I kind of went into it with a plan. I went in with the buddies, like, we're going to have a plan. We're not going to just walk out of there with a headache and smoke coming out of our ears. Like, oh my God, what are we doing? So, but we went in receptive. We went in like, okay, let's see what we can fix and things we can tweak. And I think from that, we got on with 180 Sites and Ryan Golgowski, and got a real solid website. And that's been so beneficial. We got hooked up with Nice Job because I think 3.5 years ago, Angela, I just was old school. I didn't focus on Google reviews. I think we had like 42. Now we just hit 312, so having, those softwares in place has been good. But back in the real trail. So then going to trainings and, for lighting or for power washing or for whatever, those things are awesome too. You meet people like you and JC and Joe Devino and all these people that are at the trainings, but then you go and have dinner, you have meals, and that's where a lot of the magic happens. You get to talk shop and everybody relaxes a little bit, and you have to realize you're all kind of in the same boat, just trying to make customers really happy and do that over and over again. With some rock employees. So yeah, that's been awesome. And then last year I tested different guys for coaching. I didn't pull the trigger, and I pulled the trigger last year and did coaching for 9 months, and that was one of the best things I've ever done. I needed to know my numbers. You think you know your numbers when you're sole operator, and you really don't know your numbers until you really dive in and figure out all your stuff that you need to know. So all your costs. And so it was so nice to finally get my prices up there too. And we now have metrics on where our numbers should be. We have some systems in place. We're tracking things. I was able to work with Lisa in the office to kind of help her some, because she was just kind of doing it on her own. We were able to give her some more, systems and softwares and skills and things that she could, do her job better. We got on board with like Canva, and like I said, Nice Job's been awesome. Company Cam has been a great software for us. So these little things that helped, along the way, either by software or by training. But yeah, never enough training, never enough time to, meet with, people like you and do podcasts and mentors. And so anyway, back to the main point, it's just been a nice journey, but developing myself and investing in myself. And you think, oh God, it's going to be $1,200 for the convention or whatever, but the value you get out of that and the growth you get out of it is mind blowing. So kind of leading up to where we're at now, I was asked to be kind of a breakout speaker for a 45-minute breakout room with Gutter Summit, and so I'm just blown away by that. Never mind life, I thought anybody. So it was kind of cool because that is mainly like gutter installers, and so Grant and Tim are like, dude, you're doing a lot of great things in the Facebook groups. You're sharing stuff every day. You're giving advice to these guys. We'd love to have you be, the gutter, cleaning guy to come and speak and talk about how recurring, gutter cleaning can bring value to these guys. A lot of these guys will go hang a gutter, but then that's it. They're off to the next job. But I'd rather, hey, keep that customer, go clean the gutters 3-4 times a year. That's a great lead-in service for, as you know, with JC, for Christmas lights and for watering, for all type of other stuff. So anyway, I'm excited to talk about how we go about using Jobber and all our software and systems, on how we kind of trying to take that gutter cleaning to not just from the bucket Bob guy that shows up with a holy jeans and a cigarette and a Metallica shirt, and so we're trying to have a brand and awareness, and have customers like today. The guys did a $249 gutter clean, and they got a $39 tip for a gutter clean. And some guys in the group were like, "Who would pay that tip for?" But it was the experience. Lisa answered the phone on 2 rings. The guy showed up on time and uniformed, and the job was neat and tidy. And so she did a review, and the guys got a tip and the whole thing. So anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. I'm excited. Lisa and I did a PowerPoint presentation set up for Gutter Summit. So that was kind of an adventure, but we got it done. And but so excited about that, and just the opportunity to go there, and the people that are going to be there. I mean, so many of the people that are going to be there. Just I'm excited to take my notebook and just go. I mean, having to be able to speak is just a blessing. But all the speakers and presenters in the breakout rooms, it's just going to be phenomenal. So I'm looking to just level up, and like you and JC talked about, go all in and see where we can take this.
That's awesome. Congratulations on that.
Yeah.
And yeah, how awesome. Totally deserving. You've got great stuff to share, and that will be amazing. Oh, so awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to dive back in. You hit a lot of nuggets there, and of things that reminded me, in the beginning of our business journey, and all different places, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Right. And so if you kind of just stay in your box and your head down, and think that you know it all, and that you'll figure it out, and that you'll find it out, like we all just think, we go through those periods where we think we're smart and we can figure out the solutions. But you mentioned so many solutions out there that, like, you don't know what you don't know. And there are great softwares. I mean, what Company Cam can do for your business, and Nice Job can do for getting you reviews, and different partners and vendors and solutions out there that have been created that are making it better and easier. And until you got yourself to the huge convention and got in a room and saw what other people were doing, using, some people not using a CRM, or not fully utilizing Jobber or their CRM. But when you get, put yourself in a room to see what other people are doing, there's so many incredible, easy software solutions, systems, processes, vendors that you can put into place in your business that make such a difference. And those are just easy ones, like get yourself to the show up, and you will find solutions that just have a huge ROI in your business. And that's one kind of simple thing. And then the second thing that has that lasting impact that you talked about then is, you're learning from the speakers, you're taking down the tools, you're going home, you're going to implement all those, but the relationships that you build along the way, those people become mentors, people that you can reach out to, people that are an inspiration every day, but people that you can reach out to when you have questions. And when things, don't go well, and it's not a great day, and you picked up, you have people to reach out to then as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, the friendships or relationships have been built from that. And like guys in your Facebook groups, you see, guys in Idaho and guy in this Florida, but then you go to these conventions, you meet in person, and you get a big hug, and everybody, you share a meal together, or tea, a coffee, a wine, or whatever. And it's just really cool. And so you kind of galvanize that relationship, and like you're saying, just build new ones. And so like, JC, I've been able to reach out to him, and he, was a valuable resource at one of Jimmy's events. We sat and had a wine, and he was helping me with my pricing and stuff. And he didn't have to do that, but it was phenomenal. If I didn't have that relationship built with him, it built with Joe Devino and other guys, those things are what's lasting. Like I said, I can call Joe with a questions about Omni, Trax Joe. I can't figure out the wiring. What do we do? What's going on here? And he'll call me right away. And no, this and that. So, just like you said, surround yourself with some really good people, and it's just the relationships are just phenomenal. So that's to your point. The takeaway is, that's what I love about it.
Time for our first commercial break already. I knew this time would fly. So we're going to take a commercial break, and then we'll come back and talk more about those relationships. We'll be right back.
Creating art from darkness. For over 20 years, Cast Lighting has designed and manufactured the world's most durable, energy-efficient, and technically advanced landscape lighting products available at astonishingly affordable prices. Cast offers an all-encompassing line of products with everything you need to get the job done. Cast Landscape, their most durable product, is best-in-class, low-voltage landscape lighting made of solid bronze with integrated and drop-in LED technology. These fixtures are built to endure the most demanding environments. Source Lighting, a new division by Cast, is your source for professional grand landscape lighting made of durable brass, offering both integrated and drop-in LED technology, and backed by Cast, the world's most durable outdoor lighting. Cast Lighting gives you innovative, state-of-the-art, old-world craftsmanship with tomorrow's technology. Visit their website at cast-lighting.com today. That's cast-lighting.com.
From the East Coast to the West Coast and around the world, no one rocks like Turf's Up Radio. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Get ready to abandon gas with Crest Commercial. With insane power and extreme longevity, the era of batteries trailing behind gas engines is over. With the Crest revolutionary 8-minute cyber system, Crest Commercial landscape tools provide the same power and performance as their gas-powered counterparts, as much as a 2-stroke engine. Plus, the Crest 60-volt CyberPack batteries charge in 8 minutes or less. Professional landscapers can finally make the switch to battery without sacrificing performance, power, or runtime. Crest, it's the only choice to replace gas. For more information or to find a dealer near you, visit Crest.com. Having issues with your maintenance schedule? Want better routing and ability to track your vehicles when they leave the shop? Do you want to reduce your liability exposure with your vehicles that are moving billboards on the road? GPS Fleet Consulting uses cloud-based dashcam monitoring and can easily track your vehicle maintenance using real odometer readings. GPS Fleet Consulting can also assist you with live phone support and email support with guaranteed same-day responses. Yes, same-day responses. Stop wondering where your trucks are and start managing your fleet with GPS Fleet Management Systems. For more information, visit gpsfleetconsulting.com. That's gpsfleetconsulting.com.
So let's dive more into the relationships. And we said before, JC and I do talk all the time about the importance of building a tribe. And it's, I think, one of the most valuable parts of, showing up and being at events. It's really the foundation of our company, of Unique Genius, of, the difference in, and that's what we do, so many things to build community. And when, you have that power of human connection, the collaboration that can come out of that, two brains together are better than one. And in those conversations, not necessarily in the classroom, but like you said, sharing tea or wine together, you have conversations that you're like, oh, that's a great idea, and foster and spiral up into building great things. And the people that you surround yourself with determine whether those conversations and ideas in your mind are spiraling up or spiraling you down into worry. So it's been great to build a tribe with people like you that are positive and make your mind swirl up and think bigger.
Good deal. Absolutely.
So tell me about how some of those, let's talk about that, how different people have made a difference in your life and those connections, whether it be people that were mentors or, coaches along your business journey?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, you and I were talking before. Rob Anderson is a guy we both know. Rob lives about 2 hours from here, and a lot of guys probably listen to know Rob, and Rob might be listening, but he's a phenomenal guy. He's helped me out when supplies were gone and Christmas lights a couple of years ago when everything was sold out and everybody's had a panic. It's like, dude, come on down. I'll give you some. No worries. Just pay me my cost. And I did that. But I used to watch all his Rob Anderson clean power wash Salisbury, Maryland videos and learned how to power wash and I started doing gutter cleaning, but I was able to kind of see how he did some gutter cleaning and kind of steal some of his ideas and make our gutter cleaning better. He's just been one of the early guys I leaned into. And then Joe Devino has been a good friend for about, I don't know, 3-4 years now. And he's, an old guy in the industry too. And so I've been able to lean into him, and he's been able to get some ideas from me as well. And then you talk about JC and so many other guys that have been impactful and in leading into coaching last year. Home service business coach Dave Mormon, I think you know Dave. He's a phenomenal guy, and I signed up with his coaching program for 9 months. And you have to kind of get screened to go into it. And they were actually kind of a little bit leery because I was 55 years old, and kind of to your point, a lot of guys that age, I think that they were talking with, were kind of old dogs that were stuck with their mindset, weren't going to probably listen to some new ideas on how to do things a different way, and would probably not be a good fit, and probably wouldn't be a successful student in the program. And so I was open about going in. I knew I needed to know my numbers. I knew I needed to get off the truck. I've already got one knee replaced, got the other one going to be replaced in January. So my time up and down the ladder is limited, even though I like to be in the field. But so I knew I had to get out of the field, and I had to work on the business, and because so many things were getting slipped by. And one of our things, our core values now is responsiveness. And we had gotten really busy, and Lisa and I just couldn't keep up with things. And so we was like, look, responsiveness is going to be our thing. We're going to respond to people right away, 2 rings. And that's kind of got baked into our core values. But to your point, just going to these events to hear speakers, to hear guys like Dan Plata talk, and Josh Latimer, and so many great guys, Brandon Vaughn and Tommy Mello, and all these guys. And now listen to guys like Mike Michalowicz, and to your point, kind of surrounding myself also with some good books and podcasts and that sort of thing. I never did that before. And so, you guys always put out good books and people to listen to. So I've been, the E-Myth and Who Not How and Profit First and all these things we've been trying to, implement and read. And it's super encouraging, especially Who Not How has been phenomenal, because I just at one point was just trying to do it all. And after reading, I was like, I need to get some rock stars on my team. I need to get some really good people. And so I do have great people on board now. And I was able to build up good relationships on the relationship vein here locally with some other gutter cleaning companies. And the company I started with back in 1994, I guess it was, reached out to me 2 years ago and said, Dave, look, we started an exterior siding, roofing, gutter company installing that stuff, and we were using the gutter cleaning as a launching board. But now we're so busy with these giant projects, we want to sell the gutter cleaning off to someone. The whole list, 485 people, they're all in Jobber. And so initially they wanted, a check for that. And so we worked out a deposit, and then worked out an arrangement for a 1.5 year transition. So that was completed in January. So I'm so excited about that, because that's 485 folks that came over. We have them all in Jobber. We've already contacted all of them. And with us servicing them kind of before the contract was really over, they saw our trucks, they got to know us. Mark was he was now my employee, W2, was with that company for 10 years. He knew all the clients. He's been such a resource in that regard. So another relationship piece. So having Mark come on board, he knows the folks. And Angela, some folks now are in their late 80s. They remember me when I was younger, back in the mid 90s, that came out to clean their gutters way back when I was mid 20s or whenever. So it's been a cool thing. So it was kind of nervous about. I reached out to JC and Joe about this, because it was like, you can look into buying a company, but it can be a phony company. It can be, they have a fake CRM, fake clients, all this stuff. So we got there, they both were like, dude, get an attorney involved, have it checked out. And so anyway, it was all on the up and up. And so it was a great transition, a great thing, but it was a lot of people to do in a short amount of time, with already having my own gutter cleaning folks and my own lighting folks. All of a sudden 400 folks come over, and you got to get their gutters cleaned, from November to December. And so you got that time frame. But it was madness. And now it's nice to know that all the money comes to even flow now. There's not a split with American Craftsman. They still refer power washing jobs over to me. So that relationship is really good. So kind of to your point of building relationships locally and not having, competitors, locally. If the guys don't want to build that relationship, you can't force them, but by having that good relationship, they reach out to me. They're like, would rather sell it to you than some big conglomerate that's going to run it into the ground and have 19-year-old punks out here doing sloppy work. So we want to, so it worked out. It was just stressful, but now we don't have to worry. We can really farm and mine these people. We don't have to really do Facebook ads and Google ads, all that right now. Because we do have all these folks that came over. So we're really just trying to service them, get them on the schedule. And so that was a real blessing in regards to relationship piece. And so I'm just jazzed and excited about this year, getting all the money and not having to split it to pay for the debt. But again, that was a relationship thing with American Craftsman. And by having that relationship, they reached out to me. And it was just, it's just, I'm ready to go. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. We have Joe checking in here. Says you're the master of implementation.
He's a good man.
Yes, he is. Thanks for checking in, Joe. Well, what an exciting win. Yeah, to be able to, in the way you were able to take over that company. And I love that you are giving it credit to the relationship that, and we'll dive back into some of those mentor relationships because I want to talk about those too. But so many people are afraid to make connections with their competitors or other service people. And that's a whole other area of connection and relationships that is important. It's important to have mentors and ghost shows and people from around, but it's also important to know people in your community and, be friends with your, the people in your industry in, not thinking of them as your competitors over here, but to make those relationships because you never know when an opportunity is going to arise, like it did with you. And if it's not, like combining businesses, taking over, there's still always advantages in working together and things that, the opportunities that brings.
Yeah. Even to that point, like I was just thinking, you mentioned Joe and how Joe and JC have like thrown work back and forth from Wilmington to Raleigh. I'm like, dude, I can't really do this. Or we can come down the coast. We can work together on jobs and all that stuff. And so that's a beautiful thing for have two really big companies like they have to, be humble enough to be like, no, let's work this job together. We'll split the money and go from there. It's so it's more about the friendship, the relationship than just the job, the money, the one-off, So, so that was great. If I didn't have a relationship with American Craftsman, they would have never called me. And so I would still be trying to get Google ads and paying, which we'll have to do eventually, but it's nice to just be able to farm those clients. And those clients we have now, we let them know about power washing, lights, all this other stuff that we do. And so like, oh, I didn't know you did that and this and that. And so we have, washing jobs that we were able to acquire this year and go. And it's not nicer to go and do just a gutter clean, go there and do the wash, do the exterior window cleaning, and then come back and, this time of year and go hang lights for them. So, good stuff on the relationship piece for sure.
Oh, and those are the best kind of customers that you brought over, right? Like they are customers, happy customers, the way that you got to do it. And like you said, now you've built your business in a way that you have multiple services. So getting those people that you're already able to get in front of, you have, so many more great opportunities. Such an exciting win.
Yeah, absolutely. And even like the slower season, we were able to kind of do just a few weeks ago. Usually it's very slow for us. September, we were able to send like an email blast offer, like, maybe a 10% off house washing, gutter clean special to see, who would bite on that sort of stuff, or discounts and other stuff. And we did pretty well, able to fill out the schedule during a slower time. So that was good. To kind of use that relationship piece and use our jobber campaigns to kind of reach out to our folks and let them know, hey, we got a slow time. We can definitely get you on and save you some money. So yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome. You got some great systems implemented. Well, we're going to come back. We're going to take one more commercial break and then we'll come back and wrap it up.
Cool.
Have you considered artificial turf? It's great for areas with high precipitation, which means no mud after a heavy rain and no more mowing wet grass. Today's artificial turf is made using recycled materials and helps to reduce water consumption in areas of drought. Turf Envy's artificial turf is constructed of quality raw materials, safe for pets, humans, and our environment. With decades of experience, our staff can help with support, training, and product education to give you confidence when estimating a project for a potential customer. Learn more at turfenvyusa.com today.
You're listening to Turf's Up Radio, the only radio station of its kind dedicated to the green industry. Turf's Up Radio, your industry, your station.
Hey everybody, Wayne Voles, the Prophet, your host of Profit Time here on Turf's Up Radio. If you listen to my show, you know I'm all about profit. As an industry, profit is something we fail to meet most of the time. If you're working hard but not seeing the results that you deserve, Profits Unlimited is here to help. We offer processes and systems designed specifically to make your company more successful, more profitable, and certainly more efficient. When you're ready to take your company to the next level, reach out to me at profitsareus.com. That's profitsareus.com. And don't forget to turn into Profit Time every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m.
Are you a military family with a spouse on deployment away from home? Did you know that nonprofit Project Evergreen has thousands of volunteers across the country ready to help military families with lawn, landscape, and snow removal services? We call it Green Care and Snow Care for troops. If you are a military family and would like to receive this free service, or if you'd like to volunteer to help, visit projectevergreen.org. Project Evergreen, creating a greener, healthier, cooler Earth, 1 yard at a time.
Busy work burning you out? Kick it to the curb and do more of what you love. How? With Landscape Management Network to spend less time creating estimates, tracking crews, doing job costing, managing invoices and payroll, and more. FYI, the average LMN contractor spends 50% less time doing payroll, increases profits, and lands more jobs. Put an end to burnout. Visit golmn.com/turfsup. That's golmn.com/turfsup to get started.
We're back for our final segment. Time is flying, as I knew it would. So I want to go back into the relationships and some of the mentors that you said you had, and it's just so great how people get put in our path. And I love that you talked about you learned from Rob, and there are these people out there creating content, sharing, and sometimes they don't realize what a difference it makes that there's people watching or inspired by the things that you're putting out and the things that you're doing. And I love Rob. He's one of the first people I connected with in the industry. So Dan Plata actually came to a mastermind that I did in Omaha before I had anything to do with anything in the service industry. It was like lawn and landscape kind of thing that we put together, I guess, there. But he came and he was my very first connection. He asked me to be on his radio show, and Rob's on that as well. And so I've been on his weekly show. Rob and I are on sometimes together, and it was just like kind of Rob and Dan. Those are the only people I knew. I was like, what am I doing here in this service industry? Ended up getting to, so I knew them for months before I'd ever met JC. And they kind of became my big brother's friends in the industry. And then through being on Dan's show, I got asked to speak at Clippa. And so JC and I were both speaking at Clippa last year, and that's how we met at an event. Cool. But yeah, it's kind of a funny long story about Rob, but it was like Dan and Rob, my brothers. And I was like, guess what? I met JC.
Yeah, Rob. We have a lot to thank Rob for.
We do. So you never know what kind of connections, whether it be you're watching somebody, learning from them, and what a difference it can make. And now you get to pay that back, right? Rob was putting out that content. You were learning from him, and now you get the opportunity to, as you've had experience, and you're giving back so much in the Facebook group, and now are going to take a stage and give back to people pour your energy into them there as well.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Just to, have people reach out to you that, you help me with this and that. And I'm just trying to share stuff every day, and just, I don't do it to try to get accolades. I mean, like you don't either. It's just nice to share. We've learned from people. Let's give back. So maybe hopefully someone doesn't have to suffer the same pitfalls or bad choices that we made, or, share, systems or resources or tools that can help them out. And so, but yeah, to your point, Dan and Robert, those guys are just titans and rock star guys, and just real dudes too. I mean, just genuine guys. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I forgot to mention, Angela, about Sales Boost too, talk about training, that how impactful that was for me. So, and I'm looking forward to the next one. I think February, right? Sales Boost.
It's in February. Yeah. I just re-put it to the top of JC and I's to-do list again today. I'm like, we got to get more stuff out about Sales Boost. But yeah, this year's Sales Boost is the end of February in Orlando. We're powering up this year Sales Boost and partnering with Responsicon and Light It Up, I think, is what Ryan Lee's part of it is called. And PWMCA. So bring in all kinds of shows together. And so you can, one flight, one group of hotels, one hotel, and you get to be with more people, learn more.
Yeah, no, it was phenomenal. The last one was amazing. I wasn't sure what to expect, and I walked down there just blown away. I know you and JC had to put a lot together, and you had a lot of hiccups along the way, but it was an amazing event. And I got to meet guys that came from way out west in Seattle and Northwest that came, and got Facebook friends, and got to hug those guys and have drinks. And so it was awesome. I had so many different takeaways I got from there that I was able to implement on I didn't do any in-person sales. My packages and bundles were not very tight. And so now we've got those dialed in, and some of the other pieces we're able to take away from the Sales Boost. I'm looking forward to the next one in February. So that's a great event. If you guys haven't gone, definitely get your ticket for that.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you being there and those kind words of yeah, it was crazy. JC and I had really just met when he took on Sales Boost from Pat, and luckily we combined I have a passion for putting together events and experiences for people. We were able to kind of combine our passions and strengths, and excited to do it again. It was a great, it's all about getting the right people in the right room and feeding them food, I said.
Oh, yeah, the food was really good.
Because you can't learn and collaborate if you're hungry. But, when you get some, the right energy in the right room, we just had some phenomenal speakers and attendees. And, it's all about that energy. There were some great things taught from the stage. But then again, the big parts of it are the conversations, the tables that you get to sit at, people teaching, helping you with things, at those after conversations. So it's just about showing up, not only to Sales Boost, but hopefully people have gotten the takeaway from that. It was first you at the huge convention, and it can be in the very beginning when you need all kinds of tools, or seasoned Gutter. What is the name of the Gutter one that you're speaking? Gutter Summit?
Gutter Summit. Yeah. There's Gutter Con. Gutter Summit. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was Gutter Summit. Our Unique Genius one is called Summit, but then we're also like on a panel at RoofCon coming up. And so I was like, Con. Anyway, Gutter Summit is a phenomenal one. And that's just coming up soon, next week.
Yeah, next Wednesday. So 9th through the 11th. So that's going to be awesome.
So many great opportunities. They probably still have spaces that you guys, if you're listening, you can get yourself to there. But it is about showing up and getting in the room. And no matter where you're at in your business, there's somebody that you can learn something from.
Yeah, absolutely. And to Joe's point, I implement stuff now because I did it for the longest time, and now I'm getting older. I don't have time to fool around. So I have like implementing was like the main thing. Like, get stuff done. We're going to get it done, get it in place. And so Joe helps a lot get stuff in place, but yeah, I've been driven to kind of get things in place, checklists in place, just because things were loose for a long time. So you can't run an efficient business that way and have employees and all that. So things got to be tight, or you're going to not make profit, and you're going to have angry customers, and you're going to be back to the corporate world. So, so yeah.
I love that you're the master of implementation, because so many people go to these events, and you, granted, we talked about the relationships are important. So hopefully you go and you have the relationships and you do things with them. But so many people they learn stuff, they come home with a notebook full of things they're going to do, and then they fail to implement any of the things. So do you have some tips, if you are the master of implementation? Like, what do you do? What's your system from that when you learn some things to like make sure that you get them implemented and in action?
Well, yeah, like I said, you can go to these conventions and walk out of there broke too. I mean, you can have a new skid, you can have a accountant, a CRM, virtual assistant company like Unique Genius. You have the whole thing. You can have more than you really need to start out with.
Not every solution.
But you do kind of have to decide and kind of boil down what you need to get in place first. For me, it was a website. And so that was one of the first things I got with Ryan Golgowski and 180 Sites there. I'd seen JC and a lot of other guys' sites. I'm like, yeah, I want something like that. That looks sharp. That's going to work. That's going to convert. And then Nice Job was another one that we got on board with, because our reviews were horrible. I wasn't focused on. We had like 42, and I didn't think they were important, and now I realize how important they were. So that, and also. I'm trying to think what else we had taken away for it. Just little things. Don't get overwhelmed. Start putting little things into place. Start working on your checklist. Your SOPs is the main thing. Just a basic checklist. So you walk over, every SOPs, you can get overwhelmed. Just get it on paper. Write down 10 things. They're just glorified checklists. We have one for gutter cleaning. That's like a working document that we can change, but it keeps the guys in place. And a lot of CRMs with the checklist, they have to complete it before the job can get completed. So building out some SOPs, some procedures, having meetings. We didn't have meetings. Now we have meetings, every 2 weeks. They're very, the guys have been with me for a while, but they're very brief, but we go over a lot of things. It would be safety, or we'll have certain topics we'll go over. So it's just like little chunks of things. And then you build that rhythm up, and then you can work from there. Whether it's, marketing things, getting with Dave Carroll and Dope Marketing to get your yard signs in place, or implementing, adding on a virtual assistant, all these things. And I talk to guys, the guys are like, well, it's expensive. It's expensive. Well, no, it's an investment. I used to think, oh, I can't afford it. But you're gonna get such a return on these, on your CRM, on your company cam, on your Nice Job, that the return is tenfold. So you have to look at it that way. And so, yeah, just implementing little bits at a time. Because like you're saying, you can come back with a whole notebook and just be like, I don't know where to start, what I do. And then, the classic cake, it gets on the table. And then next thing you know, you're at the huge convention and you're like, I didn't do a damn thing. Here I am. And the guys tell me, what did you implement? And I'm like, I didn't do much of nothing. But I took some notes and they were really good. But so, yeah, just little things at a time. See what you really need to do first. For us, it was, we got busy. We weren't getting back to phone calls, emails, that sort of thing. So we're like, we're going to be responsive. We're going to dial into that. And so just by doing that, that's helped us tremendously, because if customers can't get a hold of you from the start, it's your 5-star reviews kind of already dwindling, from the get go, if they're leaving a voicemail and that sort of thing. So we try to be on time and punctual and keep to our schedule. And so, just little bits at a time, getting down the rabbit trail. But just start.
I love all of it.
Just kind of get it on paper, get it out of your head, and then kind of highlight things that you really need to do to start with, and just work on those things and then build from there. And again, like what got you here won't get you there. Like, we now use Jobber for reviews. We don't have to use Nice Job anymore. We saved a little money there. We had used MailChimp was a great resource we used for a long time. And now Jobber does their campaigns. So we can use Jobber, cut some costs, pay Jobber, a little percentage, and have everything within Jobber. Not that anything against Nice Job, but we can save half the price there. We can cut the MailChimp in half. And so some of these technologies resources that get you there, you might find something that's better or better suited for you moving forward. So yeah, just implement little bits at a time, and it'll build rhythm, and you'll feel positive, and you'll see results, and you'll keep wanting to do it, and keep wanting to go to these conventions, and keep wanting to fill your notebook up and come back and get it on board, and have accountability partners. Like you're saying, Joe it keeps me accountable with stuff. So my wife keeps me accountable with stuff. So it's not all just Dave, the rock star here. I've got people in my corner helping me, keep me accountable, kicking my butt to get it done. So, but yeah, it's nice to get those things in place and have systems, and it all helps. It makes things easy, and you don't have to do it all and have a heart attack. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, those are so many nuggets, just valuable nuggets that you gave our audience there at the end. And that was a great one to end with, of like, no matter what, have an accountability partner, so that when you have things that you're going to implement, somebody that holds you accountable for getting it done. So
Yeah.
it has been such an amazing time. I appreciate all of the great things and energy that you shared with our audience today. So thanks so much for being a guest.
Oh, thanks, Angie. I appreciate it. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you, audience, for joining us for another episode of Unleash Your Unique Genius. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and we'll see you next week.